Sin City Submission Series is proudly brought to you by CBD Health Solutions, injitsu.com, Impact Dental Designs NYC, and Zebra Mats. Train with confidence.
So we got, in this match, we went ahead and skipped because there was a bye in the 175-pound bracket. So we're up in the right corner of the 155-pound bracket, and that is Michael John versus Javier Garcia.
Okay, I was so excited about this match. I did not know that this was going to be the leadoff on the right side of the bracket.
Dude, so do you know Javier?
I do know, yeah. Okay. We don't know each other personally, but I've seen his work. I know his MMA work. Dude's a beast. Also, excellent rash guard apparel. But then Mike John, also a very active competitor. Okay, decent human being. But man, I was excited for this one because I knew it would be a high caliber match.
Yeah, this match really pushed the pace, and these guys were pretty even. I mean, on the feet, Michael John's got some wrestling experience, definitely not afraid to mix it up. Garcia, he's a CSW product. He's a disciple of Erik Paulson, their catch wrestling guys over there. He was a wrestler pretty much growing up his whole life. He's a professional MMA fighter now. He's been all over the SoCal scene. I've seen him fight a number of times. He actually competed in a early variation of Sin City Submission Series years ago as a purple belt when he fought Keith Krikorian in the semifinals. Once gave him a really good match, but I've been friends with him for years, and when this came about again, he was definitely in for the numbers,
And more importantly, I mean, not to overlook this, but Mike John also has MMA experience. It's just Javier has this style that was so aggressive to use that cage. I think of most of the competitors that you had, he was really cutting a lot of the angles that I saw that I said, man, this is keeping them both safe and hyper aggressive.
Yeah, he definitely, like you said, has that ring experience. Mike John's no stranger to the ring either, but Javier's just got a lot of fights under his belt and knows how to control the angles, like you said. He knows how to cut the cage off. He knows how to push you into the right areas. He knows how to keep your hips square to his. And you're going to see a lot of control coming in from there. He's got a lot of submission attacks as well. He's definitely not afraid to mix it up. But, that Erik Paulson style over there, they're grinders, man. They're grinders.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, having the benefit of training with Mike John, I know that he likes a high-pressure game. I know that he actually thrives off of that kind of competition. But when you have somebody who is shoving you into a corner of the cage, it is hard to get some of those submissions off.
Definitely. And, like we said, that's a strategy as we see Javier here picking him up and moving him to the cage, trying to push his head in there. And that limits the rotation ability of your hips. And as we know, without the hips, you're not really going to get a sub going. So Javier just showing his craftiness and showing how the experience plays a factor inside the cage. Michael John, again, tremendous black belt out of 10th Planet Orange County. He's a really, and there you go, see he's opening up his guard, looking to attack, maybe go into a K guard, transition off of the armbar attack. But, Javi keeping heavy hips there and not letting Mike get under him and holding on to control.
There was a number of times where I saw Mike kind of invert to try and get this knee. Every time I saw him invert there, I thought that Javier did an excellent job of maintaining his base, not letting it disrupt, because you could very quickly lose your leg at that exact kind of entry.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that a lot lately in MMA, happening more and more. Guys getting pushed up against the cage exactly there, and they attack high body submissions, arm bars, triangles, omoplatas, and get that posture reaction, and that opens up the leg attacks, especially through variations of K-guard, and that's really what's hot right now in Jiu-Jitsu. But we're seeing that happen, maybe not as technical as a high-level Jiu-Jitsu black belts in the UFC and other promotions, but we're definitely starting to see the evolution. Legs are definitely coming into play more and more, and you see Mike John looking to get his guard back here, just kind of looking to field position. Javi is staying heavy with that pressure. That really impressed me. Mike John locking up a little Sergio variation, a little reverse triangle there, and looks like it's just a hard angle. Mike can't really lock his shin bone under his knee, so it's a tough angle. It's good for control, and you see Mike really trying to come out the back there and get under that leg. Javi just staying there, pressured, keeping his hips super heavy, not allowing Mike to get under. Some good instruction coming from Keith Krikorian to Michael John right now. Those guys came out together, teammates. who train together quite a bit. And again, prolific competitors, you know, they really are competing all over the country and laying it all on the line. You see Javi stepping over that head, trying to break free of that lock. He's keeping that left hand posted. It's interesting. Maybe he's just wide enough that Mike can't lock his legs fully tight.
I just think the idea is at that point you've kind of burnt out a little bit of the legs, so you kind of know there's only so much further pressure he can put on you because he might have expanded part of that energy.
Right, and that goes into and that takes an effect later in the tournament. Let's say you do get, like we saw, the triangle position of Andrew Slater versus Leo Domingos. Leo Domingos had a triangle on him for about 3 or 4 minutes. I wonder how that's going to affect him in the next round, if his squeeze is going to be there. And that's something you got to think about when you have 4 matches, you know, to win the overall tournament in a 16-man bracket.
I mean, sounds nice, but you got to conserve that energy, especially once you put in your own entry. You're kind of like, you know what? I think I'm not going to burn myself out.
Yeah, and that was something that some guys had to consider. You know, I had some questions about that, specifically like the match time and the amount of EBI rounds we ended up going. Initially, we wanted to do 3 EBI rounds, but just with everything going fundamentally as it can, we made a last-minute decision in the rules meeting to do 1 EBI round if there was a need for an emergency round in the case of double ride time where both competitors rode for 2 minutes without escapes or submissions. We would do an extra round, but we ended up just going 1 overtime round at this point for this tournament. We may switch to 3 in the future. I did get a little feedback from Eddie Bravo on that one.
Oh, he was in the comment section.
Yeah, I know. I got
roasting y'all the whole time.
I know. I got to talking to after that. Not for the lack of, I mean, he understands the technical nuances, but he was pretty peculiar about, you know.
He had opinions on it.
Yeah, he's like, you got to do 3. You got to do 3. 1 is not enough to determine the best grappler. And, you know, that's something that, you know, we're just going to run with in the future and get the 3 rounds. You know, one thing I wanted to make sure of is in the 7-minute match, I felt like that was the perfect amount of time for a cage match because it's 5 minutes is too easy to stall. You know, if you got 2 black belts, high level, they're going to be able to go 5 minutes without anyone getting submitted. That's a given. So 10 minutes being really, really long. You know, again, the stalling factor is going to come in because it's such a long match. People want to conserve. So I feel like 7's kind of right about in the middle and will push the action and lead to submissions and regulations. And nice Connie Basami attempt by Mike John right there. Javier able to get his hips back in control. And that was kind of the name of this match right here, was Javier controlling, keeping his hips back, not getting too deep underneath, not allowing Mike John to get too deep underneath him and get into his legs. But you saw that was a really good controlling round for Javier, and that's the regulation. So we're going to go to the coin flip here. Javi's going to call it in the air. I believe Mike John won that one. He's going to go ahead and choose the back position, and he's going to give he's deferring, and Javier's choosing the back position to start with.
Taking a moment, make sure the hair's in place. You don't want to go to overtime with your hair just flopping around everywhere.
No, definitely not. And Javier, by the way, wins the poster contest. If you guys saw our posters for all the competitors, it was definitely him and the winner in the mariachi uniform. The guy got some swag.
He showed up to one of his MMA fights wearing that at a weigh-in, and I was just like, immediate fan, dude.
And here we go on the defensive. Mike John spinning, going belly down right away, trying to clear those hooks. And right here, Michael John actually ended up telling me he popped his rib escaping this right here.
Really?
And he gets his hips almost all the way free, but Javi managing to stay super tight, and those hips are squared up, and that's the time right there. When the hips square up to each other, that's when the time is called.
Now that you mention it, I do see him holding his side
he's
there.
holding that rip right there. He just
Jesus
made a little effort.
Christ.
So I actually trained with him the last couple of days, and he taught the class, but he wasn't able to train because those ribs got popped during that escape. But here he is now.
I need to go train with him right now then.
I mean, we're not actually training. Whatever. If you guys are watching this, we already did the event. There's no Karens. Exactly. So what now? So Mike John, here we go with that body triangle, staying super tight. He had a pretty short ride time. It was right around 20 seconds or so.
Yeah.
And he just needs to keep Javi under control. Javi using those hips as best he can to try to break them as well as avoid the choke. Mike John is on there like a backpack, man. And if you've had Mike John on your back, that's definitely what it's like. And there's the hips escape after the time allotted. Mike John goes ahead and moves on to the next round.
It was a good match, man. I mean, here's the thing that I'm not sure people understand. There's always money in the rematch. And I would watch them have another bout, man.
Yeah, I mean, that was super competitive, and that came down to, I think, a lot of strategy, both on Javi's part of staying out of the leg entanglements of Mike John, and also Mike John maybe realizing, hey, this is going to be hard to finish in regulation with the control factor that he has on me, so let's try to get this into EBI overtime where we can maybe get that escape, and that's what you saw there.